Okay. Consider the following set of processes with the length of CPU burst time given in milliseconds. Okay, process and its arrival time and burst time is given here. The processes are process 1, process 2, process 3, process 4 and process 5, and its arrival time is 0, 3, 4, 4, 5, and its burst time is 7, 2, 3, 1, 3 is the burst time is given. And here in the question they have asked us to draw the Gantt chart, okay, illustrating SRTF scheduling. That means shortest remaining first scheduling, which is also called as preemptive SJF. Okay, SRTF is also called as preemptive shortest job first scheduling. Okay, SRTF means shortest remaining time first scheduling algorithm. Using that, they have asked us to draw the Gantt chart and compute the waiting time, average waiting time, turnaround time, and average turnaround time. Okay, so SRTF is also called as preemptive shortest job first algorithm. Okay, in using this preemptive shortest job first scheduling, how to draw the Gantt chart we'll see. At clock time 0 milliseconds, process 1 arrived to the ready queue. Okay, at that time CPU was free, right? This is the first process which is arrived to the ready queue. That time at 0 clock time 0 CPU was free, so CPU will get scheduled for process 1. Okay, process 1 will be executed by the CPU. Okay, and its burst time is 7 milliseconds. Okay, its burst time is 7 milliseconds. By that time, when the CPU is executing the process 1, okay, that time at arrival time, clock time 3 milliseconds, process 2 also will arrive to the ready queue. Okay, process 2's burst time is how much? Process 2's burst time is 2 milliseconds. Okay, at clock time 3 milliseconds, how much process will be executed here? Process 1's burst time will be 3 minutes of process 1's burst time might have executed, and still remaining 4 minutes of burst time is remaining at clock time 3 milliseconds. Okay, at clock time 3 milliseconds, process 2 arrived with the burst time of 2 milliseconds. Okay, now the operating system will compare these two processes. Okay, the process which is already inside CPU and the newly added process to the ready queue. Okay, its burst time is 2 milliseconds. Okay, here process 2's burst time is less than the process 1's burst time. Okay, so operating system will preempt the process from the CPU. Okay, operating system will preempt the process 1 from the CPU, and CPU will be scheduled for the process 2. Okay, at clock time 3, process 2 will start executing. Okay, its burst time is 2 milliseconds. Okay, and it will start executing. At when it is started executing, at clock time 4 milliseconds, process 3 will enter to the waiting queue, ready queue. Okay, process 3's burst time is how much? It is 3 milliseconds. At 1 second. Okay, at pro, at clock time 4 milliseconds, process 3 arrived to the waiting queue. Okay, it is ready queue for it will be waiting for the CPU to get executed. Okay, at 4 milliseconds of clock time. At 4 milliseconds of clock time, the process 2 already executed 1 millisecond of its burst time. Okay, its remaining burst time is 1 millisecond. Okay, at clock time 4 milliseconds. Okay, at clock time 4 milliseconds, another process also arrived to the ready queue. That is process 4. Okay, process 4. Process 4's burst time is how much? It is also having burst time of 1 millisecond. Okay, among these three processes, okay, which is having the shortest burst time? That is process 2 is having the shortest burst time, and process 4 is having the shortest burst uh, time, that is 1 millisecond. Okay, if two processes are having the same burst time, that time the process which has arrived first to the ready queue, that process only will get executed. Okay, even though process 4's burst time is 1 millisecond, process 2 will not get preempted from the CPU. It will be executed by the CPU. Okay, so process 2 will complete its execution at clock time 5 milliseconds. At clock time 5 milliseconds, we have another process also arrived to the ready queue, that is process 5, and its burst time is 3 milliseconds. Okay, now we have the process which need to be executed is process 1. Process 1's burst time is 4 milliseconds, and process 3, process 3's burst time is 3 milliseconds, process 4 burst time is 1 millisecond, process 5's burst time is 3 millisecond. Okay, but among these four processes, process 4 is having the shortest burst time. So CPU will be scheduled for the process 4, and process 4 will get execute for 1 millisecond. Okay, so at clock time 6 milliseconds, process 4 will complete its execution. Then CPU will become free. Okay, after that, process 3, we have still more 3 processes to get executed. That is process 1, okay, and process 3 and process 5. Process 1's we have still remaining burst time is 4 milliseconds, process 3's burst time is 3 milliseconds, and process 5's burst time is 3 milliseconds. Okay, now in these three processes, the shortest burst time is process 3 and process 5. If you have two processes has the same burst time, okay, that time CPU will schedule the process which has arrived to the ready queue first. Okay, first come first serve algorithm will be followed, okay, to break the tie. Okay, here the process 3 and process 5 both are in the ready queue, and both the burst times are 3 and 3. Okay, which one, for which one the CPU should be allotted, that can be decided by using first come first serve algorithm. Here the process 3 came first to the ready queue, so 3 will get CPU will be allotted to the process 3, and process 3 will start executing. Okay, and its burst time is 3 milliseconds. Okay, 6 plus 3, it is clock time 9 milliseconds, process 3 will be executed. Okay, next process 5 will be scheduled, because process 1's burst time is 4 milliseconds, process 5's burst time is 3 milliseconds. So process 5 is having shortest burst time, so process 5 will get, CPU will be scheduled for process 5. Okay, process 5 will start its execution at clock time 9 milliseconds, and its burst time is 3 milliseconds, that is 9 plus 3 is 12 milliseconds. Process 5 will complete its execution. Okay, next we have only one process which is remaining is process 1, and its burst time, remaining burst time need to be executed is 4 milliseconds. Okay, at clock time 12 milliseconds, CPU will become free. We have only one process, that is process 1. For process 1, CPU will be scheduled. Okay, and process 1 remaining burst time is 4 milliseconds. 12 plus 4, it is 16 milliseconds. Process 1 will complete its execution. Understood, right? Like this, we need to draw the Gantt chart for shortest remaining time first scheduling algorithm. Now we'll find the waiting time. Okay, waiting time, how do we find? Waiting time is allotted time minus its arrival time. Okay, allotted time minus arrival time plus its next allotted time. Next allotted time minus its previous preempted time. Previous preempted time. Okay. Previous preempted time. Okay. Previous preempted time. We will get the waiting time. Okay. Here for the process 1, allotted time is what? It is 0 milliseconds. What is the arrival time of process 1? That is 0 milliseconds. 0 minus 0 is 0 milliseconds. Plus, what is the next allotted time for the process 1? Next allotted time for the process 1 is 12 milliseconds minus its previous preempted time, that is 3 milliseconds. At 3 milliseconds it got preempted. Okay, so 12 minus 3, 0, 0 minus 0 plus 12 minus 3, we will get 9 milliseconds is the waiting time for process 1. Okay, next for process 2, allotted time is 3 milliseconds and process 2's arrival time is 3 milliseconds, and process 2 don't have another allotted time. Okay, it has executed all the burst time in the single stretch. Okay, so its allotted time is 3 milliseconds minus its arrival time is 3 milliseconds. 3 minus 3, it is 0 milliseconds is the waiting time for process 2. Next for process 3, allotted time is 6 milliseconds and its arrival time is 4 milliseconds. 6 minus 4, it is 2 milliseconds is the waiting time for process 3. Next, process 4, allotted time is 5 milliseconds and its arrival time is 4 milliseconds. Okay, 5 minus 4, it is 1 millisecond is the waiting time for process 4. Next, for the process 5, allotted time is 9 milliseconds and arrival time of the process 5 is 5 milliseconds. Okay, 9 minus 5, it is 4 milliseconds is the waiting time for the process 5. Okay, now we'll find average waiting time. Average waiting time formula is sum of all the processes waiting time divided by total number of processes. Okay, here process 1's waiting time is 9 plus process 2's waiting time is 0 plus process 3's waiting time is 2 plus process 4 waiting time is 1 plus process 5 waiting time is 4 divided by total number of processes we have here 5. We'll get 3.2 milliseconds. Now we'll find turnaround time. How to find the turnaround time? Turnaround time is nothing but the processor's burst time plus its waiting time. Okay, so for process 1, turnaround time is its burst time of process 1 is 7 milliseconds plus its waiting time is 9 milliseconds. 7 plus 9, 16 milliseconds is the turnaround time for process 1. Okay, for process 2, burst time is 2 milliseconds, waiting time for the process 2 is 0 milliseconds. So 2 plus 0, 2 is the turnaround time for process 2. Next, for process 3, burst time is 3 milliseconds and its waiting time is 2 milliseconds. Okay, 3 plus 2, it is 5 is the turnaround time for process 3. Next, process 4, burst time is 1 millisecond and its waiting time is 1 millisecond. 1 plus 1, it is 2 milliseconds is the process 4's turnaround time. Next, process 5, burst time is 3 milliseconds and its waiting time is 4 milliseconds. 3 plus 4, it is 7 milliseconds is the turnaround time for process 5. Now we'll find average turnaround time. Average turnaround time, we can find it by adding the all the processes turnaround time divided by total number of processes. Okay, here process 1's turnaround time is 16 milliseconds. Process 2's turnaround time is 2 milliseconds plus process 3's turnaround time is 5 milliseconds plus process 4's turnaround time is 2 milliseconds plus process 5's turnaround time is 7 milliseconds divided by total number of processes, that is 5. We will get 6.4 milliseconds. Okay, we'll see another problem. Here, this is the For the following set of processes, find the average waiting time and turnaround time using the Gantt chart of shortest job first algorithm. Okay, here they didn't mention you to solve the problem by using preemptive shortest job first algorithm. Okay, if they don't mention it as a preemptive shortest job first algorithm, we will assume that it is a non preemptive shortest job first algorithm. Okay, we need to follow here non preemptive shortest job first algorithm. Okay, here the processes are given like this: process 1, process 2, process 3, process 4, process 5, and its burst time is 10. 1 process, 3's burst time is 2, 4's burst time is 1, 5's burst time is 5. Okay, now we will, and here if they don't mention the arrival time means we need to assume it the arrival time of all the processes are same, that is clock time 0. Okay, and order of arrival also if they don't give, we need to assume it that the order of arrival of process is also like this: process 1 first, next process 2, next process 3, next process 4, next process 5. Okay, so here at that all these processes are arrived to the ready queue at clock time 0, and the order of arrival is like this: process 1, process 2, process 3, process 4, process 5. Okay, among these burst times of all these 5 processes, which is the shortest burst time we need to find, because we are following the algorithm, using the algorithm shortest job first scheduling algorithm. Here we have two processors having the shortest burst time, that is process 2 and process 4. Among these two, which process will get scheduled CPU first? Okay, if the two processes having the same burst time, that time we need to follow first come first serve scheduling algorithm to break the tie in shortest job first scheduling algorithm. Okay, so the CPU will be first allotted to the process 2. Okay, so CPU will be first allotted to the process 2, and it will executed by the CPU for 1 millisecond. Okay, after completion of execution of process 2, CPU will be next allotted to process 4. Okay, next shortest job is process 4, right? So process 4 will get executed by the CPU. This is it will be executed for clock time 2 milliseconds. Okay, now we have remaining processes are process 3, process 1, and process 5. Remaining these 3 processes, which is the shortest burst time process, that is process 3. So process 3 will get CPU. Okay, so process 3 will executed by the CPU for 2, its burst time is 2 milliseconds. So at clock time 4, process 3 will be completed execution by the CPU. Okay, now at clock time 4 milliseconds, we have two other processes in the waiting queue. Okay, that is process 1 and process 5. Among these two, which is having the shortest shortest burst time, that is process 5. So process 5 will get CPU will be allotted for scheduled for process 5. Okay, so process 5 will get executed by the CPU. Okay, and its burst time is 5 milliseconds. CPU will start executing the process 5 at 4 milliseconds. 4 plus 5, it is 9 milliseconds. CPU will complete execution of process 5. Okay, next we have only one process in the ready queue, that is process 1. So its burst time is 10 milliseconds. CPU will be scheduled for process 1. 9 plus 10, it is 19 milliseconds. CPU will complete the execution of process 1. Okay, we know how to find the waiting time. That is, waiting time is nothing but allotted time minus arrival time. Here we have assumed that all the processes arrived at 0 clock time 0 milliseconds. Okay, so process 1's allotted time is 9 milliseconds minus its arrival time is 0 milliseconds. So 9 minus 0, 9 is the waiting time. Okay, process 2's allotted time is 0 milliseconds minus arrival time is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0 milliseconds. Okay, next process 3's allotted time is 2 milliseconds and arrival time is 0 milliseconds. 2 minus 0, it is 2 milliseconds is the waiting time for process 3. Next, process 4 allotted time is 1 millisecond, its arrival time is 0 milliseconds. 1 minus 0, it is 1 millisecond is the waiting time for process 4. Next, process 5 allotted time is 4 milliseconds minus its arrival time is 0 milliseconds. So 4 minus 0, it is 4 milliseconds is the waiting time. Now if you know the waiting times, we can find the average waiting time. Average waiting time is sum of waiting times divided by total number of processes. That is 9 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 plus 4 divided by total number of processes are 5. Okay, that we'll get average waiting time is 3.2 milliseconds. We'll see another problem. Here, the following processors arrive for the execution at the times indicated here. Okay, the processor's arrival time, burst time is given here, and arrival time process 1, processes are process 1, process 2, process 3, process 4, and its arrival time is 0, 1.5, 3, and 3. Okay, and its burst time is 1.5, 3, 1, 7.5 is the burst time for process 4. Okay, draw the Gantt chart and calculate the average waiting time for SRTF. Okay, shortest remaining time first scheduling algorithm. It is called preemptive SJF algorithm. Preemptive shortest job first algorithm scheduling we need to follow here to solve this problem. Okay, first we'll draw the Gantt chart. At clock time 0 milliseconds, we have only one process in the ready queue, that is process 1. So that time CPU is free. CPU will be scheduled for process 1. Okay, so process 1 will start executing by the CPU for 1.5 milliseconds because its burst time is 1.5 milliseconds. Okay, at 1.5 milliseconds, there is another process will arrive to the ready queue, that is process 2. Okay, its burst time is 3 milliseconds. Okay, now CPU is free at 1.5 milliseconds. It completed the process 1's execution and CPU is free. So CPU will be allotted for the process 2. Okay, CPU will start executing the process 2. Okay, process 2's burst time is 3 milliseconds. Okay, it will execute for 1.5 milliseconds. That time process 3 will arrive to the ready queue at simulation at clock time 3 milliseconds. Okay, at clock time 3 milliseconds, process 3 will arrive to the ready queue. Okay, now process 3's what is the burst time? Process 3's burst time is 1 millisecond. Process 2, which is already executing inside the CPU, its remaining burst time is 1.5 milliseconds. Okay, 1 millisecond is shorter than the 1.5 milliseconds. So operating system will preempt the process 2 from the CPU and process 3 will get allocated to the CPU. Okay, process 3 will start executed by the CPU. Okay, and process 3 will run for 1 millisecond. Okay, and by that time at simulation clock time 3 millisecond, we have another process also will be arrived to the ready queue, that is process 4. Its burst time is 7.5 milliseconds. Okay, but here among these processes 1.5, 1 and 7.5, process 3 burst time is 1 millisecond, that is the shortest one. So CPU will be allocated to process 3. Okay, process 3 will executed by the CPU for 1 millisecond. At simulation time, at clock time 4 milliseconds, CPU will become free. It completes execution of process 3. So now we have two processes. Process 2's remaining burst time is 1.5 milliseconds and process 4's burst time is 7.5 milliseconds. Among these two, which is having the shortest burst time? That is process 2. process 2 will get allotted to the CPU, and process 2 will be executed for 5.5 milliseconds of clock time. Okay, at 5.5 milliseconds of clock time, CPU will become free. Okay, then we have only one process which is in the ready queue is process 4. Now the for the process 4, CPU will be allocated. Okay, and CPU will execute the process 4 till 13 milliseconds. Okay, at 13 milliseconds, CPU will complete the execution of process 4. Now we need to find the waiting time. How to calculate the waiting time? Waiting time is allotted time minus arrival time. For process 1's allotted time is what? Allotted time is 0 milliseconds minus arrival time of process 1 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0 is the waiting time for process 1. Next, for the process 2, what is the allotted time? Process 2's allotted time is 1.5 milliseconds. Arrival time of the process 2 is 1.5 milliseconds. 1.5 minus 1.5 plus process 2 is again allotted, second time allotted to the CPU. Okay, that time is, second allotted time is 4 milliseconds minus previous preempted time. Okay, that is 3 milliseconds. 4 minus 3, that is the sum of allotted time minus arrival time plus next allotted time minus previous preempted time. We'll get the waiting time. Okay, so 1.5 minus 1.5, it is 0, plus 4 minus 3, it is 1. 1 milliseconds is the waiting time for process 2. Okay, next coming to process 3. Process 3's allotted time is 3 milliseconds and its arrival time is 3 milliseconds. 3 minus 3, it is 0 milliseconds. Next, process 4. Process 4's allotted time is 5.5 milliseconds and its arrival time is 3 milliseconds. So 5.5 minus 3, it is 2.5 milliseconds is the waiting time. Okay, now after calculating the waiting time, we know how to find the average waiting time. That is sum of all the waiting time divided by total number of processes. That is 0 plus 1 plus 0 plus 2.5 divided by total number of processes are 4. Okay, we'll get average waiting time is 0.875 milliseconds. Okay, the same problem if you solve by using the non-preemptive scheduling. Okay, if you solve the same problem with the non-preemptive scheduling, what will happen? At clock time 0, process 1 will be in the ready queue. So CPU is free. So CPU will be allotted for the process 1. So process 1 will executed by the CPU for 1.5 milliseconds. Okay. So process 1 will get executed by the CPU for 1.5 milliseconds. At 1.5 milliseconds, process 2 will arrive to the CPU. Okay. Process 2 will arrive to the CPU and its burst time is 3 milliseconds. Okay, in non-preemptive, the process which holds the CPU that will not leave the CPU until completion of its execution. Okay, so process 2 will get executed by the CPU for complete 3 milliseconds. Okay, after that only it will leave the CPU. Okay, so process 2 will complete its execution by clock time 4.5 milliseconds. By that time, in the ready queue, we have process 3 and process 4. Among these two, process 3 and process 4, which is the shortest burst time? Shortest burst time we have for process 3. So process 3 will get, CPU will be allocated for the process 3, and process 3 will executed in the CPU for 1 millisecond, that is from 4.5 milliseconds to 5.5 milliseconds. Next, at 5.5 milliseconds, CPU will become free and CPU will be allotted for the process 4. Process 4's burst time is 7.5 milliseconds. Okay, CPU will execute the process 4 from 5.5 milliseconds to 13 milliseconds. That is, its burst time is 7.5. 5.5 plus 7.5 will get 13 milliseconds. 13 milliseconds, CPU will complete its execution. Okay, now we find the waiting time. process 1's allotted time is 0 minus process 1's arrival time is 0. 0 minus 0, 0 is the process 1's waiting time. Next, process 2's allotted time is 1.5 minus its arrival time is 1.5. 1.5 minus 1.5, it is 0 is the waiting time for process 2. Okay. Next, for process 3, allotted time is 4.5 and its arrival time is 3 milliseconds. 4.5 minus 3 milliseconds will get 1.5 milliseconds is the waiting time for process 3. Okay. Next, process 4, allotted time is 5.5 milliseconds. Its arrival time is 3 milliseconds. 5.5 milliseconds minus 3 milliseconds will get 2.5 milliseconds is the waiting time for process 4. And average waiting time can be calculated by sum of all the process waiting time divided by total number of process. That is 0 plus 0 plus 1.5 plus 2.5 divided by total number of processes we have is 4. We'll get 1 millisecond. Okay, 1 millisecond is the waiting time for non-preemptive SJF, shortest job first scheduling algorithm. Okay, here by using this preemptive scheduling algorithm, our waiting time is less than this non-preemptive scheduling algorithm. Okay, now for non-preemptive scheduling, we have got 1 millisecond is the average waiting time. For preemptive scheduling, preemptive SJF scheduling, the average waiting time we got is 0.875 milliseconds. Okay, so that if you use the preemptive SJF, we can reduce the waiting time. Average waiting time can be reduced if you use preemptive shortest job first scheduling algorithm, which is also called as SRTF, shortest remaining time first scheduling algorithm.